Hey, yo guys, what's going on? Let me see, David, I don't know if you want to pull up the stream on your side and start inviting our lovely friends.
I am not seeing myself in the stream, but
should be in there in just a minute.
I'm here. Tag me in it too. There we go. Cool. You look good.
Good. Can you tell if you can hear you? Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Can everybody hear David? Can everybody hear me?
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, we're just making sure this is gonna go smoothly.
Yep. Let's go.
Let me tag some of the guys. Get everyone in.
It doesn't let me invite people now that I'm doing this. Great, you hear both of us. So, just a little bit of a background, guys. David Harris has been working on Spyre for what, like a year and a half now, David? 2 years?
About 2 years.
Yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years. Him and his buddy Kurt have been, digging at prototype after prototype and session after session, and hangs through and watching all this kind of inception stuff coming up, and the time has come for something to come out of that, I guess, to say.
Yeah, it's been a grind, but we're here, so that's all that matters.
So David has been working on the mouth tips, kind of as you see below. He has them sitting there on his desk, and what is the, people that don't know 3D printing, what is the process? I know it's a headache and it's a long journey, but design wise, how do you come up with these thoughts on these? What are we going to see in the future? Those kind of details.
So, I mean, Jeremy, we've talked about it in the beer garden, which heads up for everyone. That's going to be coming out next Friday. So we'll talk more in the future there. But it's going to basically be additive manufacturing, right? So we start with nothing and we build up until we actually have a completed product. Everything in front of me is actually what we're talking about today, but I have other things that you can see in the picture, stuff like these minute pieces. They're designed for the stems. This one is called the Hive. And we're going to do available colors. I'm going to have 9 available colors with 1 special release color for the Corinthian column when we actually use that one. As of right now, a lot of what it is that we want to introduce something where not necessarily you're going to be sitting there and being like, hey, I don't want to drop money on like a $300 stem, which the market in general has gotten a lot better for that. But different colors, a little bit more of a conceptual thing to where you can see the availability of what we have and what I can offer. Kurt and I have been working on, we've actually been doing generational improvements after everything. We started with, I actually don't have it in the room, but we started with the hookah that won the hookah battle last year, which was the OG, is like we have to call it. And that kind of was also called the carrot, which was kind of funny. And we took that rough idea, improved the concept, and we've been working in kind of redesigning as we go to kind of get something conceptually working and awesome. Jeremy is the first one who's gotten a hold of the product. He's been there alongside us, motivating, as well as the rest of the HQ guys. Everyone's been on a good level of keeping me motivated, especially these last 2.5 months. I've been kind of striving to meet the goals that I said I wanted to meet. So that being said, Jeremy, why don't you tell people, I know you did your live review, just of what you received, what it's like and everything. And then we can talk more about these designs that we have for these mouth tips or any other questions that people have.
Well, the hookah that was pictured here below is the one that I got in a tube. We've been talking about this forever. We kind of, talked about the design. We talked about all kinds of, different cool things here. We talked about kind of, just the design, and we've talked about materials. We've talked about so much, it feels like. And basically what it is it's a stainless steel stem that has a 3D printed heart, 3D printed bull port, The purge can either be horizontal, like what you see with the current version of sleeves. It can also be used in the what I would consider a simple mode, or what would you call it, David?
I like calling it the rod. You know, let's just be really phallic about it.
So, and what that does is allows it to vertically purge. So if you want to take off, this sleeve here per se, Steven currently has the pipe, but if you take off this sleeve, it'll basically vertical purge. So it's kind of like almost two purges in one, as we talked about on the live that I did. Now, David, my first response to you in person was, "Are you fucking printing out of ABS?" I think those were my exact words.
That was the question in the middle of Oasis. Imagine that I've never met Jeremy before. I have not really been able to meet you, and big burly bearded man comes up and starts asking you questions about whether or not you're going to use it something that kills people. No, we're not. I would never do that. ABS, if you ever see anything that's printed out of ABS, avoid it. It's traditionally what's used for most plastics that you see, which is kind of the irony to it, because most plastics that you see that are printed in it go into children's toys. That's one of the reasons why there's a warning label that you shouldn't let your kids stick it in their mouth. I use PETG, super long name I can't even pronounce right now. But everything is food grade safe in the sense that the raw material is food grade safe. And then the dyes that go into the colorations are considered food grade in the sense that you're never, as long as you're not trying to melt this down and eat it, you should be fine. And for whatever reason, I'm not selling you something to melt down and eat. Okay. Now, a lot of this has come to fruition with a little bit of, the motivations from the community. So a lot of the designs that you see at the bottom are actually things that I've basically started over once I had lost the licensing on one of the other products I was using for CAD, and I had to basically relearn everything. So these are all designed on a new CAD system, designed in the last month, tested. This is not the second run, but this is the second or third iteration. I started very rough with things like this, where these are cool designs and they work, but they are not as comfortable. The original design idea, something I'll get back to at some point, is actually having this little sleeves for the mouth tip so you can remove them and kind of customize your mouth tip with whatever rig you're smoking. Might come back to that, not quite sure yet, because that can have a disparity over quality. That being said,
we got kind of like a plethora of different color options, and I know we have talked about aqua color, we've talked about said red color, and another specialty color that we won't talk about right now. But there's a bunch of different colors available. As you can see, he has the blue, green, yellow, orange, red, purple, and a silver. Just different colors for you guys. And if you have any questions, if you would just drop them in the chat, we can kind of talk, everything through. But I think it's really cool to see, kind of this thing come to fruition. And as always, people are going to ask how you can customize them. Yes, they can be customizable. And the next thing they're going to ask is, when can they have one?
So these are the first 21 that are going to be released. There are going to be more information posted onto the Spyre Hookah page. So if you guys haven't liked that, check it out. You can see some of the stuff that we've been working with for the last couple of weeks, see the updates, things like that. All of these are going to be priced at $25 with shipping included.
For the U.S. only, right?
U.S. only. Shipping costs internationally right now is not going to be an option. I have to kind of figure out those logistics still. That being said, for now, I'm working on getting custom lanyards that will be made. This batch will not be paired with lanyards, but I intend to have those available to those who need them at the expo. Or I can try and reach out once I've got that all figured out and see about sending the lanyards to people if they need them or if they'd like them. A lot of my ideas that come from design, and Jeremy, you and I have talked about this, is I'm very much the smoker who is like, okay, my vase is blue, right? So my vase is blue, my stem needs to match, my hose needs to match, my tray needs to match. So when everything drops for Expo, as of now, until something can be figured out about maybe us creating trays, not 3D printed trays, because that wouldn't work, but rather um, specialized trays will be made for everything. Um, the the deal's going to be the heart, the stem, the mid piece, the stub cap, what we like to call, as well as all the connecting pieces and the diffuser, which that is still being kind of tweaked and worked on to make sure that's going to function everyone. And those will be for showcase at the expo. Not at the expo, I should say. Let me rephrase that. At the frat house during the weekend of the expo. We'll be having them at the party going on. And that's going to be a fun little, gist of things to get things together. Right now, let's go a little more into the tips for you, and let's talk about the colors that you'll see. So starting on the left, I'm calling it frigid gray. It actually kind of looks like metal that's been kind of frozen over and has that nice little, sheet of ice on it. Then we have sapphire blue. We have emerald green. We're calling it pineapple yellow because a couple people said that this one in particular looks like a pineapple. Then we also are going to be doing hazard orange, fire fuchsia, and then nightshade purple. And those are going to be just for the colors available now. The other two colors that we'll be working with are going to be a teal, which hasn't had official naming yet, as well as a ruby red style color that we're going to be calling Riot Red. The designs that you can see here, we have, starting on the left, I'm just go over the first three, is the crosshatch. And that's going to be a cross pattern, nice little bit of grooving on it for grip. We then we're calling it the hive tip, and the hive tip's actually going to be it was made to match the stems, if you guys are ever wanting to go into that route. But it's a honeycomb pattern on it on about 85% of the surface, and then we embedded our logo. It's the first time we've tried embedding a logo into anything. And it's turned out pretty well for us, so we've kind of run with it. And then this one, I'm still unsure what I want to call it. I kind of just want to call it the spiral tip, but in development we were calling it the tratty tip because it's more reminiscent to a traditional style mouth tip.
Right, and people are going to ask a bunch of different questions. I know that there's a couple of guys that have been in hangs, and they reserved a couple, and the rest of the mouth tips will be releasing sometime. What, today, David? Tomorrow? Next year?
Yes, I intend to launch, or actually after this I'll be posting detailed information about it. We're going to do a comment chain reservations because it's a simple batch. I don't have a website together yet. That's something that we'll be working on in the future. I need to find the right source on that with payment through PayPal. And then it will be 2 have been reserved thus far. But those will be marked all prior to anyone commenting, so anyone can pick up the rest of what's available. In that comment, I'll also be saying any billing, shipping, everything like that, I was going to handle in a secondary form. I will message whoever wants to reserve, and we can lay out what you need to provide, and it will be direct transfer to PayPal.
PayPal. Okay, good deal. David, I've used this tip. This one is the trotty or spiral tip. As you can see, let me get a better picture of it here. I've been using this one. This is the one I prefer the most. A crosshatch, as you know, I gave to Steven last night, and he was giddy. He was so happy that he got it.
Ironically, I'm not even using a mouth tip right now. I've used all of my metal.
People have, kind of asked, how does the pipe smoke? And I would put it, without the diffuser, it smokes like a Regal. Okay? It purges like a DSH, and it smokes like a Regal, which is awesome. As you know, or as I've said before, I think Regal is one of the very first, kind of what I would consider a modern pipe to come out, which is really, really awesome. Something that wasn't Chinese made, something that was made here in the States, something that was made from a need for a little bit more open of a draw. And I really would compare the draw to a Regal and the purge to the DSH. It purges the base so cleanly. So you'll be following up with a release, and we've talked and we said, okay, what do we want to do? What do you guys want to do for kind of what you're going to be doing with the expo? And the demo pipes, I do believe you want to release on a reserve basis. So we will be demoing them at the house. They will be cleaned and given to the first people to reserve personally through you. And that those reservations can be probably taken in advance, I would assume.
Yes, for
and
the
then,
but concepts that go along with that. Part of the deal about reserving the select pipes are going to be that you have to accept the fact that they're going to be showcase pipes the night before. There's going to be a formal tasting booth at the hookah party, right? So it's kind of a good way to showcase. Everyone gets to see the product. And then the following day, rather than that night, those who reserve will be taking. I will try and find a way to meet up with you and take them directly to you if possible. And if for some reason we can't be in contact via that weekend, I will contact you as soon as possible and get them shipped out. That being said, the goal right now is to have, I believe the deal was 6, Jeremy?
yep.
And then I might have a couple available through the weekend just in case I need a couple more to set up.
Okay. Well, that sounds awesome. I know that I'm, really looking forward to seeing more stuff. We've talked about 1.5 million times regarding design and other things, but we also do the thing called the Beer Garden. The thing called the Beer Garden will be back next Friday. Me and David will be here to annoy you with more beer nerdish type stuff. Chris has formally agreed to produce my show. Yes, Freddie Mercury will be there. And the chaos that we create. So live to you next Friday, a drunk cast on a Friday, which means that it may get very, very interesting. We also have somebody else that is joining us from the AM Hookah podcast. That would be Adrian. Adrian Hunter will be joining us for this week's Beer Garden. I know, Adrian, that I got to get you those show notes. Don't worry about it. I'll get it to you. And everybody that is still watching or is going to watch this video in the future, David just posted in the chat to his Spyre Hookah page. So if you would just do me a favor, go down there, like that, check it out. Lots of cool stuff coming up. And yes, Travis Green, it is a Friday with a beer garden, and yes, we are drinking. So if you
more than 2 beers, then don't I?
Most likely, and it'd probably follow up with some drunk gaming. So if you guys also get a chance, we are in the Appear In, which I will drop the link here in just one moment and allow you guys to join, not our broadcast, but you can join us on Hangs. I'm going to hang out here for a while, play some Borderlands 2, and who knows, I might even stream some here into Hookah University if we can get a crew together. Well, with that, guys.
So while we preface out real quick,
yep.
Those who are interested, I just published the post regarding the melt tips, so those will be available for you guys to comment. Give me some time frame because it looks like I'll be gaming with Jeremy, but keep order in the sense of the rules that were listed with the post. And then, as I ask everyone, just because this medium takes time and I'm figuring out logistic purposes, I say 2 to 3 days for handling purposes. And I will try my hardest to get every order taken care of by that time frame.
Yep. Sounds fair. I mean, all of us have lives and other things. Plus, tomorrow's Sunday. No post on Sundays.
Oh, I thought it was freaking Saturday or Sunday today. That's my mind, guys. All right, guys. We'll catch y'all later in the appears. Anyone who has any questions, feel free to message me directly if you like, or post a comment on Spyre Hookahs. Until then, we will see you guys at the Beer Garden.
Yep. See you guys. Take care now. Bye.